is well deserved. And
Yeah.
if that means a character slot in Smash Ultimate, then I'd say that it's more than worth it.
200 million units later in a legacy like that, it's bringing in a whole new generation. Again, it didn't really hit home for me, but it's a great story for a lot of people who grew up with that to get their gaming icon that they may not have known all these other retro characters, but now they get to play as Steve out in amongst the other alternative costumes they have too. They got options, but we were wondering this earlier and we're going to see it now. We're going to see the ZSS Ditto versus Lights and WebbJP.
Wow, that honestly, this from WebbJP takes my breath away just a little bit, because this is your pocket. This is not your main, but you're trying to take it on. You're trying to take on what might be the best Wi-Fi ZSS play in the game today, in Lights. And I'm trying to think of who else could even contend for that title. It's there are not many. There are not many options.
In terms of people who are actually playing, pretty much none. Like we're not in an offline world at the moment, and Lights has been holding that down. But you know what? I gotta give credit to Webb, because we talked about this the other day in Fusion too, when he fought against Penn, the Bowser. We were wondering why not the switch off, but Webb has been committed to getting this secondary down, and it's been leveling up as we go, and we already seen this pretty much dead even here. This matchup definitely one of the more volatile, explosive ones for sure. It's all about who gets the short hop fares, as well as that edge trap attempt right there. Lights going off immediately to cover, recognizing that they were going to go for a tether grab and just kill.
I mean, it's a big assertion from WebbJP. I mean, I get maybe sometimes you just want to play the Ditto and learn the ZSS from what might be considered the best one playing the game in the Wi-Fi world at the moment. So that's it's definitely admirable, and you have to admire the fighting, the sporting spirit of WebbJP in that aspect. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you kind of have to wonder how wise a strategy this is, just purely from the gaming aspect of it, where you're trying to win. Does catch him on the platform with the up smash. There is no way away from that. But
in my view, that Ditto in particular might be solid in terms of especially trying it out early, because at the end of the day, the Lucas and ZSS matchup between these two tends to go down to the zoning war. Like once Lights gets that lead, you don't commit to go fighting Lucas. That is just asking for trouble. So instead of having to deal with that, you get to also fight back with those short hop zairs, those falling side Bs, and having the frame one jab to fight back too. Is it as clean as the Lucas? Obviously not yet, but it's still, I think, a pretty solid idea in terms of trying it out, and it's looking good. And you always have to look at this and go, this game's even, because you could always just get short hop nared into flip kick at the ledge around this point too, and Webb could just bring this right back.
It's always within the realm of possibility, isn't it, Ajax? And that's one of the things that it may well come down to. It's always been the great equalizer. WebbJP not shying away from utilizing that down air either, and you got to respect it. Certainly don't want to misuse it though, and that's where the experience with ZSS might come in though. Ajax is catching the flip kick, which again is I've heard people say that it is the single most versatile option that this game offers on any.
Oh, uncontested. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a get off me option, a kill option. It's everything you need in a nutshell.
It gets you Twitch clips.
Yes, it gets you everywhere you need to go. I really like that cancel from Lights. They're kind of throwing off the recovery. Oh, good follow up, recognizing, and then going off stage with that side B too. Not wasting a single second. Great stock from Webb. Even this right back up.
See, I was kind of wondering. I mean, WebbJP definitely relying a lot on mechanical prowess, and certainly the Lucas main from New Jersey has no shortage of such, Ajax. But at the same time, we were talking about how well Lights was catching a flip kick off of WebbJP, and that is how they took the second stock. But right now, we are just about even, though Lights is in very real position to just run away with this one.
Yeah, again, though, we always have to worry about the volatility of DSS. Like so, you get a couple strings like this and then get caught off guard. An early edge guard attempt could take something out. But now we're seeing the exact gameplay we needed out of Lights for him in order to win this game. Trying to look for the early up B, and he's going to actually cause the activation in the up B to go a little bit too early, and Webb's not going to be able to drift towards the stage to close it. You saw that Lights started to play a bit back, found the one opportunity, pushed the initiative, go all the way off stage to go for that ledge trap. And because of the activation of that boost kick a little early, looking for maybe a flip kick or a jump out of WebbJP, worked in his favor. So that was actually a really, really close game one, considering, like you said before, the knowledge of Lights for this character and the newer flavor for Webb. But Webb held his own very well in that Ditto.
And I really did admire the restraint to not simply go for the up B, as seems to be the autopilot option for some ZSSs. As we go back to Pokemon Stadium for game number 2, after that one paralyzer shot, as Lights just seemed to miss the tech, and instead following up, carrying him off the stage and finishing with the plasma whip off of the side. It's one of those things where it didn't recognize that the spacing wasn't right for the up B. Like, it is a bread and butter, but it's only at a certain position, and it was well done. But Lights just having experience carry them through, and WebbJP,
that was actually Webb in that situation that did that. And
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But Lights, when we were talking about the defensive options of the character, WebbJP just getting caught out just a little too much, and Lights knowing exactly where WebbJP was going to land, that's what carried them, really.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Just being able to optimize a situation like that where it's kind of weird just shows the amount of effort Webb has been putting in his character. And we're also dead even here. One thing I will note between these two is more often than not, most of the air-to-airs have gone in favor of Lights, kind of similar to what we saw in the Skew fight from before. So it seems like the anticipation factor is there, recognizing the jump with the up smash. So if Webb starts to recognize where those short hops are coming in and pulls the trigger just a second earlier compared to Lights, we might be seeing a different tale to this game. But Lights has been really doing a great job of just kind of like putting those hitboxes out and where you're going to be rather than where you are at this moment.
Kind of have to love how Lights conditions WebbJP. Almost seems to be willing to meet WebbJP in the air and make it a dogfight. But then as soon as WebbJP jumps one too many times, Lights is always willing to just kind of plant the feet and let the up smash fly. And it's one of the better anti-airs really in the game, I would say. And now as we are going to a second stock situation here for WebbJP, does not want to go down 2-0. What are you seeing from WebbJP that he could perhaps capitalize on a little bit more in order to garner themselves a foothold in this game, best of 5?
Well, we've seen already that Webb has consistently been looking for either that flip kick or that option as an anti-air with that up smash. Went for it 3 times, trying to hunt it down. That one was just to cover a tech possibly to the right. But it seems like the hunger for the kill is getting a little bit high, and obviously you need to take it out. You want to shut this down before this league gets too far out of hand. But when you get into situations like so, when you're reaching so far, you're getting caught off guard by Lights on the reversal. That down B so good. So Webb trying to find the kill has actually been playing into the wheelhouse of Lights because he's recognized that I could just walk up with shield and bait out an option before anything even happens.
Read it like on the platform, waiting for the mash out as well. Lights showing no restraint whatsoever and is willing, trying to get WebbJP off of this character. And as WebbJP is trying to make their way back into this game number 2, Lights is doing everything that they possibly can to quash any such discourse here, as they will be caught with the up smash. And Lights has the opportunity to kind of style on WebbJP if necessary, though. I don't really know if that's what Lights is going to be doing.
Yeah, I think at that point, simple, you keep it clean. And you go right off stage and catch that side B before he even gets attempt to tell the recovery back to stage. They're going to go up 2-0 currently here in Winners Finals. Webb has been very much holding his own with this ZSS, but Lights has just consistently been walking out on top in a lot more of these scramble situations by comparison. So I'm very interested. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see that this gets run out and played with the ZSS. But I'm curious as to whether we'll see the switch over to Lucas at this point.
It's always within the realm of possibility, but just as we say that, WebbJP refusing to go away from this character pick. You're here to learn. You have an opportunity to play this Ditto. Iron sharpens iron, it seems, and certainly this ZSS is going to sharpen the ZSS of WebbJP is the hope. Otherwise, Lights is in very real danger of 3-0ing WebbJP for not too much of a good reason at all, Ajax.
Well, I mean, I still have hope for Webb in this because Webb has shown very smart decision making, very good option coverage. It's just that Lights has kind of caught on to quite a few of those because obviously, as a ZSS player yourself, you're going to be looking for those same things. You're going to be looking for those air-to-air trades and those ledge trap coverages. So it's kind of like you have to play. You're almost playing 3D chess in dittos like this because everybody's got the emergency escape button. It's just about how well can I bait them out in making it look like the first option is actually it and then read them afterwards. It's so many layers and it's kind of annoying to fight, but you know, I definitely have some hope that we can see if Webb can maybe run it, keep this going. And there you go, gonna get the air dodge in, and that boost kick is gonna take out the first stop.
And there you go, whether you have to scratch and claw or crawl your way back into this set, that's what you have to do in order to survive. And WebbJP hanging on at 118, make that 130%, taking the first stock of this game number 3. That's how you want to garner this advantage. And eventually gets the mash out waiting right there. And again, that's the experience coming into play and catching the escape options, as you were mentioning, Ajax.
I'm not 100% certain whether that was intentional or not, but that looked like a DI mix-up. Going towards the right to make it seem like you're probably going to get launched out this way, and then going back in to cause a bit of a DI mix-up right there. Might have been holding in a bit more. Either way, still good kill from Lights. I'm very curious about that situation. But back there, pretty much even. Overall, like you were saying before, what was my viewpoint on the way Webb can handle this? What is it that you see that's just so successful about the way that Lights has kind of been able to shut down a lot of these situations by comparison?
Well, I mean, it's really has been. I'm not really sure about how well WebbJP can match the experience of Lights, just in terms of how they're getting up. Because how is it that you stop DSS? It's you have to stop them on the get up. You have to stop them at ledge and make sure that their feet do not touch the stage by any means necessary. And that is how Lights has been able to garner a lot of these advantages, is whether it be on the ledge, as we saw in that last stock with WebbJP now on their loser stock side. I'm not really sure if WebbJP can counteract that just from the experience standpoint. You're kind of relying on the ZSS bread and butters at this point. We have to.
Right now, we're just seeing some trolling kind of out of Lights here. Consistently just throwing out those F tilts, kind of just a way to get in your head. Lights not one to shy away from doing that at all. When you're up 2-0 and you have a stock lead, you're going to get called out on that recovery right there. But just consistently putting those F tilts out and putting out those like kind of quick options just to get Webb tilted. That way, hopefully, into his last stock, could kind of just close it out. Let's see if Webb is able to get by that, kind of ignore it, or if we're going to see something similar happen here in this last stock.
I mean, it's a. They say that neutral is the conversation. It may well turn into the debate that we saw earlier on in the week, where they're just kind of running it, where they're just kind of yelling over each other, and Lights is going to not get a single word in as WebbJP cutting them off and garnering a little bit of a spark of hope for the Jersey ZSS as we are taking it to 2-1, but Lights' is stage counter pick as we take a look at these replays.
That's exactly what we were talking about before. You know, the coverage right there, gonna get the air dodge in, good read by Webb. But just what happened in that last stock between these two? I was just talking about prior, you know, Lights decided, okay, I'm just gonna F-tilt a bunch. I'm not gonna go and force anything yet right there. I'm very curious as to whether that was the DI mix-up. I want to figure that out. But still.
Off of the platform, yeah.
Yeah, and then when it comes to that last stock, just you always have to respect the quick swiftness that is ZSS. At any given point in time, could just take your stock without even trying, just catch you one mistake. And we see right here, Webb's gonna just push all the way over, get the right call, gets that nair into the flip kick, which is always the great equalizer, and that's gonna shut it down. We're gonna actually see a switch now that Webb was able to get a kill over to Roy instead from Lights.
Yeah, it's a big deal to take a game off of the ZSS of Lights, no matter what the character. I mean, taking a game in the Ditto, I mean, yeah, maybe you lost 2, but that's all you need is just a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and that means that you know what direction you're going in to find your way out. But Lights switching over to the Roy, so you're definitely going to get a lot of ins and outs on the ground, and not too bad aerial coverage as well, especially if you get popped with the hilt of that back air. You're in for a world of hurt and certainly going to lose lose advantage real quickly. But take us through the intricacies of this Roy counter pick here.
Well, I'm glad you actually pointed it out to bring this up. The switch over to FD, I feel like it might have just been like a neutral, hey, we're going to just consistently not go to FD because FD is one of the worst stages for ZSS overall, other than maybe Lights going here. But Roy is one of the more troublesome matchups for ZSS, and then you also get it to get on FD. So now ZSS is forced to box at Roy at all times, which is exactly what Roy wants. And that's going to play so well into Light's favor that Webb has to be careful because you could just get blown up pretty much at any given point in time and carried off to the side of the stage with those rising nairs.
Continuing on here, and we are seeing a lot of button presses from this Roy, and that is definitely by design. I mean, with how quick that neutral air can be and how much space that it covers, and certainly that frame 8 back air is looming large and certainly in very real danger of taking out WebbJP. It's going to make stage control for WebbJP all the more important, and you have to not let Lights back onto the stage at all.
Agreed, 100%. The way to win and deal with this matchup, especially on this stage in particular, is your ledge trap game needs to be on point. And there you go, get the paralyzer into the up smash, catching the jump in from Lights. Now, taking 91%, you can get absolutely demolished at a given point in time. If you get caught looking for the dash cancel F tilt, right there is Light. And conditioning into shield because of it almost getting the fall off there. It's a very, very scary situation for Webb right now.
It's a situation that they have not been shying away from all that much, and got to respect them for it. However, oh man, when Roy charges in, you do not want to drop shield, and that is what happened there. WebbJP getting caught lacking just a little bit, and now you're on your winner's side stock. However, you're not out of it yet.
It's rough too because you got not only that short hop nair that can catch you on the shield poke once you get that pressure down enough, but Lights has been able to condition grab quite well in this set. And you saw right there looking for the spot dive, trying to get the short hop nair, just missing out of place. Webb playing as solid as you can in this situation when you're fourth behind. But one of the things ZSF really likes in this matchup is the ability to escape away to platforms and kind of bait out aggressive playstyles from Roy. It's just been so hard because this counter pick from Lights is absolutely just detrimental to Webb right now.
Yeah, but I also see you really do kind of have to bait the buttons out of Lights. Like, if you are WebbJP, you are counterpunching. This is how you have to be. This is now. Don't get me wrong. Webb's your A button options, if you're Roy, are pretty darn good, but you're still having to deal with a lot of that. You're going to have your landings caught one way or another, and that is how you live and die as ZSS. Is if you are going to be able to take advantage of those situations where you're having to land, you're having to lift up all that armor and that sword, and all ZSS has is that zero suit and that paralyzer gun. And you got to have your target in your sights. But, man, when you're the one being made to land, it becomes a whole different story, and Lights is looking to make them pay. Goes just a little bit too close to the sun, and the wings melt away down to their last stop here.
We cashed that one into the positive category of what we call we take those. Because of the fact that that early kill from Lights happened, dropping below the stage, there is all of a sudden a chance for Webb. Now, Lights has been playing absolutely phenomenal, and he also gets to cash in that same check because Webb gave it up as well. That is going to be a follow-up SD, unfortunately missing with the side B on the ledge right there. So that didn't really end up costing Lights. Perfect counter pick, perfect stage counter pick. I don't know if that was anticipated at all with the fact that FD was left open. Might have been, just played to the advantages of that. But the set overall, Webb's ZSS continues to grow, continues to improve. I'm very impressed by it each time we've been seeing it of late. But Lights ZSS was just so solid in the ditto, recognizing again those air-to-airs, a lot of situations that you want to look for a trade, and it was already there. And then a little bit more option coverage in favor, but don't sleep on that ZSS from Webb anymore. Consistently just showing that that is one of his best characters for sure.